Good day, everybody. It's TJ Jones, Conrad, and Jelani, and this is Inside Men. Today, we got a special episode for you. We're talking about victims. And in the past days, months, years, weeks, there's been a lot of victims in this world. But we're going to talk about the most recent victims. We're going to talk about the Andrew Cuomo situation. We're going to talk about the American Asian population. We're going to talk about the fans only page. And we're going to talk about some traditions that have been erased because people have considered it racist. We're going to talk about it. So what are you guys' thoughts on the Governor Cuomo situation in regards to the 3 women who accuse him of sexual harassment?
Innocent until proven guilty.
That's what you believe?
Of course. That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be. But when it comes, like what we talked about on the accused versus accuser episode, when it comes to sexual harassment, that's one of those crimes where yes, it's supposed to be that innocent until proven guilty, but you're guilty off the bat because what you're doing offends somebody, and it can cause a traumatic reaction to what you did.
Yeah, I mean, public opinion doesn't sway my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The way I look at it, doesn't matter who it is, what the accusation is, unless you got them on camera doing it, they're innocent until proven guilty. So.
Well, he made the headlines. So he's on camera. You know,
he
made
the picture. I saw a picture of him holding a woman's face.
Well,
that's the woman that allegedly he tried to kiss.
Yes,
I didn't see a picture of him trying to kiss a woman.
Well, no, that's the exact incident, but he never actually got that close to actually kiss her. The story behind it is that he met her for the first time, and he actually grabbed her face and asked for a kiss.
That's her story.
He said it loud enough to the point where other people could hear it.
Well, if other people corroborate that, then different story. But for now, I ain't gonna crucify the man until evidence is out, until we know what's up.
But he apologized. But
he has to. Kobe apologized.
Yeah.
You have to.
But you have to apologize, like you said, innocent until proven guilty. So you have to apologize even if you're considered innocent?
No, you say, I'm sorry if I offended you or I did something, that offended you. That's all you can do. Maintain your innocence if you really believe you're innocent.
But this incident happened back in 2019 where at a wedding where he asked a woman, "Can I kiss you?" And he grabbed her face, and there is a picture of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's unacceptable if that's what he did, but we don't know that for a fact.
But you can see also in the picture of the encounter that there's visibly a large age difference between him and her, and him asking her. And you can see in the picture as well, she looks uncomfortable. She looks embarrassed by his reaction. And that's the first encounter that they've ever had.
Yeah. My take on the situation, you know what happens when these things happen. He's gonna have to step down. But I get tired of hearing these stories after a while, man. Like, for one, I'm gonna come back to. I have a question about that, but I don't know why people like Cuomo's 63 years old. So when he steps down, he could go into retirement and enjoy the fourth quarter of life. But people who work so hard, they spend their entire lives to get to a certain place. Like the Mets GM that just got fired. They work so hard to get to a certain spot. They work their whole lives to get there. And they get there and, they're accused of something. And they just lose it all, just like that. Like, it's to the point where I don't even know what sexual harassment is. Like, people need to stop complimenting women. They need to stop hugging women. They need to stop touching them. You just don't look at them for more than 2 seconds, bro. I don't know what sexual harassment to me is. Sexual harassment to me is you looking at a chick and, for example, you're like, damn, you got a fat ass. I like to see that outside the jeans. That's sexual harassment. Asking somebody if you've ever dated older men, to me, is not sexual harassment. You know what I'm saying? There was I forgot
because that's what he said to one of his accusers.
The aide that he was working with last year.
Correct.
He asked her if she ever dated an older man, and she felt uncomfortable and said that she felt like he was insinuating, something between them two.
But as men, I would believe that he was insinuating something. Why would you ask that question? If she said yes,
he could have been creating conversation. But that's my whole point. Like, what sexual? Because for me, sexual harassment is the first word in that term, sexual.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not sexual, Cuomo could have been inquiring for somebody else. You never know. So it's just like he could have had a partner that works inside his office that can be like, yo, you see that new aide? Yo, go see if she's into older men. She works directly with you.
That's inappropriate, though.
You think that's inappropriate?
Yeah, you can't do that at work.
Right. But does it fall under the guidelines of sexual harassment?
I guess now it does.
Because like I said, for me, sexual harassment literally has to be something sexual.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're asking somebody if they're into older men, that to me isn't sexual.
Well, when you ask that question, are you into older men? What does that lead to? That leads to dating. That leads to potentially having sex with somebody.
But then that will then become sexual harassment.
But it's kind of actually before his car actually taken off, the situation's actually taken off. You put it in gear, and that's exactly what's being taking place right now.
So he's being accused of driving a car even though it never left the spot.
I know where
from park to drive.
I know where you're trying to take me. I know where this conversation is going to go, so I'm gonna shut it up. I'm gonna shut it down.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know what sexual harassment is.
I get what you're saying.
I don't know what it is. I just think whenever you make somebody feel uncomfortable, is sexual harassment. I think if you're making comments about somebody's outfit or about the way they dress or about their body parts or you saying things that you want to do to them, then that's sexual harassment. You're harassing me in a sexual manner. I'm not saying Cuomo's not wrong. You're not supposed to do that. But I don't know if that falls under the guidelines of sexual harassment.
Yeah, the whole thing is a gray area because I've been through like several workplace harassment trainings, and there's some stuff in there that's always like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
I can't even have a conversation.
Correct.
Like, example, myself, I used to go to strip clubs on Sunday nights. Like, that was always the thing I would do. I would go to work on Monday, and I would tell some of the people I'm cool with about it. Like, not telling them what I did. Like, I'm on there finger banging, none of that. But I'm telling them, like, I went to a strip club. I had fun. This is what I do on Sunday. You can come if you want to come.
Yeah, yeah.
We going through the training one day, and they posed a scenario. It was like, oh, Chuck tells Amy that he enjoys going to the strip club. You know how many people turned around and looked at me? And I'm like, and we were laughing though because like we weren't having no uncomfortable conversation. We just having regular candid conversation. So,
But it's crazy.
There's a lot of gray area there.
But it's crazy how the workplace actually defines sexual harassment because it's not what is directly to you, but also what you hear. What you hear. So I could tell Khan, like, damn, yo, shorty right there, she got a nice body. She got a nice, she looking good. She got a nice ass. I'm not even talking about this girl, but another woman at the office who hears it can say something about sexual harassment.
I don't think that's sexual harassment.
Yes.
No.
You can get in trouble for that.
If I'm talking to you and we're talking about said person away from the person and somebody overhears, I don't deem that as sexual harassment.
I get exactly what you're saying. But in a workplace, there's certain things that you can and cannot do. It's not about me offending you directly. It's also me offending you indirectly as well.
Yeah, the intent doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But Governor Cuomo stated that he might have said some things that were misinterpreted as unwanted flirtation.
Shut up, dude. Stop talking.
Listen, everybody knows when somebody's flirting with you. Do you not know when somebody's flirting with you?
Yeah, of course.
Because I know when I'm flirting with somebody and I know when somebody's flirting with me. Your tone changes, your body language change, the look in your eyes change. Things change. So you can't say, I didn't know that this person was flirting with me. You can't say that. You got to be receptive of it. But he apologized. But one of his aides, Charlotte Bennett, said that his apology was woefully inadequate. And she said she doesn't believe it. Because you did that because that's how you felt at the time. You're only apologizing because you got caught.
Yeah. I mean, most people only apologize because they get caught.
But it's funny because who apologizes when they don't get caught?
Nobody does.
Not too many people. So are any apologies sincere? If you look at it like that, because everybody apologizes when they get caught.
Right.
So are any apologies sincere?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I just the whole like you said is just too broad. Is that gray area is too big. you know, my advice to these people, to males that are in high positions, bro, times have changed. Times have changed. Y'all can't do that shit no more. Y'all can't, and it's coming at a cost. Like, your entire livelihoods are being stripped away based off comments. Based off comments. Like, cut the shit. And half these men got wives.
Yeah.
Stop. Is Cuomo married? He is?
Probably.
Bro,
I'm not sure.
I'm feeling like it's a prerequisite to be a
right.
politician.
Right.
Yeah.
We can't trust him. He's not married.
It's like, stop. Stop hitting on the aides. Stop hitting on the secretaries. Stop, because the court, and I don't understand certain people. I assess the risk in everything I do. Literally, it's how I live my life. If the risk outweighs the reward, I never engage in it. So for you to bust your ass, you go to school, you work your way up the ladder to become a politician, and you throw it away over because you want to have sex.
Man, truth be told, he was probably gearing up for a presidential run.
Right.
The way he was
moving
in 2020, people was the country was falling in love with him just because he was battling with Trump. Now, that shit's over, bro.
You already know people turn like corners, and when it comes to this, when it comes to this Me Too stuff, bro, that should take you down.
That following is huge.
Yeah, like,
which is another reason why, in my opinion, you kind of have to look through it with skeptical eyes as well. Because who could be pulling the strings here? Somebody who doesn't want this man to be president. Now, I'm not saying there's no truth. He probably did fuck up. Like, at this point, I don't have faith in nothing. But like, in reality, it could be some shit going on.
I just like, for the men that are in power that like doing this weirdo shit. Like, y'all see what's happening to everybody else. Yet y'all think that y'all not gonna get caught. Y'all see what's happening to everybody else. Yep. Cut the shit.
Well, even in her statement, she said that these are not the actions of someone who simply feels misunderstood. These are the actions of an individual who wields his power to avoid justice.
Which is what people do, and that empower. They use their power to
So, hey, I'm in a position of power. I'm a political man. Hey, you need something? You want something? I'm the man.
Yeah, he's the governor.
In turn, you got to give me something.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein.
And
same shit.
A lot of people look the Bill Cosby situation. It's a lot. The list goes on in regards to people in position of power offering some type of service or some type of handout in return for a service or a handout. But since we're talking about the workplace, we had this discussion and we talked about how much should a workplace play in your life outside of the work. How much control should your job have on what you do outside of work? So
just for the audience, so they can understand where this is coming from. So there were two recent situations that occurred regarding OnlyFans. There was a teacher who had an OnlyFans account, and she lost her job because the school found out about it. And this other parents, father and wife, I said father and wife and husband, they had 3 kids. 3 of their kids were in Catholic school. They were having a hard time making ends meet, so they created an OnlyFans page, spiced up their relationship, and they started an OnlyFans page. Their OnlyFans page is netting them $80,000 a month. But somehow the Catholic school, right?
Mrs. Poindexter.
Yeah, right. The Catholic school found out about it, and they kicked the 3 kids out the school.
I thought they got expelled.
Yeah. They kicked them out. They're not in the school no more. They couldn't come back. And so that's the way this topic is coming from. How I'm gonna direct this to you because you didn't give no input on Cuomo. How do you?
No, I gave my input on Cuomo.
How do you?
But I'm listening.
How do you, TJ, feel about jobs controlling people outside of your work shift?
Honestly, I'm 50-50. And the reason why I say that is because depending on the type of work that you're doing, like say put like this, I've worked for Nike. If I do something outside of it, being a public figure, then it could affect their brand. That part I understand. But if it's a local business where I'm just working for you for a paycheck, for my livelihood, it shouldn't have much of a say on what I do outside of the job.
Listen.
I'm 50-50. I really feel like it depends on the company that I work for.
There's been jobs that have said when you leave here, don't walk into a liquor store without a shirt on. People trying to control teachers that strip losing their job because they're strippers. Listen, let me tell you something real quick. What I do, as long as I get to work on time and I do my job, and I'm not under the influence of any kind of substance, what I do outside of that 8 to 5 work shift is none of your business. Unless you trying to pay me around the motherfucking clock. Don't tell me any other way how I can make money. I don't agree with that, bro.
I agree.
And these jobs that are out here trying to control people, trying to tell people what they can and can't do off the clock, no.
So what do you think about what I said about hurting somebody's brand?
How you hurting their brand? And listen, if I'm teaching if I'm teaching from 8 to 4, and teaching is not making ends meet, and I could strip at night and make a nice amount of cash, I'm gonna do that, and can't nobody tell me I can't do that. For one, none of these kids should know where I'm at, and if a parent walks in and sees me stripping, oh the fuck well.
You're a parent as well. You're an adult, so you know. But I'm talking about just like what we talked about on a previous episode when we talked about Rick Ross, how he lost his endorsements, and other celebrities that lost their endorsements because of the brand, because of what they did.
No,
outside of.
Well, he was talking about committing a crime. When you go to drug a girl, that's a crime. You're committing a crime. That's different. Stripping is legal.
Yeah,
I don't see a problem in that.
But no, I'm not saying necessarily that case, but it's other situations that's just like that, where as far as people have lost stuff, endorsements, because of what they had said or what they had done.
Yeah, because they would mention things that are crimes. You talk about putting a drug in the chick's drink, bro, like this. Bro, and this is too many instances of women being taken advantage because men are doing that. So no company's gonna want to be tied to somebody like that. Like that's a no-no, and that's understandable.
We all have children. What would be your perception of your child's teacher if you found out that she was a stripper?
As long as she's dressed appropriately while she's working, I don't care what she does off the clock.
Yeah, if she's a stripper, I don't care. OnlyFans is different because kids can see it. That's why I actually kind of agree with the kids being kicked out of the school.
You agree with that?
Yeah, because they're going to get bullied. And you might as well just cut that whole shit.
Now let's
but you need a credit card to get onto OnlyFans.
But
so that means somebody's parent.
Nah, all you gotta do is Google Miss Poindexter. She come up. She come up. It's trash, but she come up.
Oh, that's the lady's name?
Yeah, Miss Poindexter. That's her OnlyFans name.
But that's probably because they probably took her content.
It's probably a parent. I think it's probably a parent. Probably
that
saw
said
it and
something.
decided to be.
Now the thing about it is that what are they actually doing in the OnlyFans? Because OnlyFans started with people actually exploiting their bodies and showing off their breasts, their ass during the pandemic. Now people have fans only page where they're actually just, if you're like certain celebrities like Lisa Ray, she's not doing anything, but she has a fans only page just to talk to her fans. So what was she actually doing? Was she naked?
No, she's naked, yeah.
They both were naked?
No, she's naked. I don't know about no dude. It's just Mrs. Poindexter. It's like all on her.
All on her. Interesting.
At least the pictures I was able to Google, it was just her. So
interesting.
And they weren't hot. I wouldn't have complained.
There's I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's not a lot of criticism against Ivana Trump, and didn't she do Playboy or something like that?
I think she did some kind of soft,
some kind of nude shit.
Yeah, right. There's not a lot. So why would you?
She's white.
But Poindexter, she's not white?
Yeah, but this is a different situation. Like Ivanka Trump, it didn't matter. Donald Trump was her husband. It wasn't gonna matter. Like if you're gonna vote for Trump, his wife being naked is not a deal breaker for you.
I think that what happens to one should happen to another. As far as
fair
punishment.
Is fair.
Yeah. What you about to say, Con?
I forgot.
Sorry about that. Yeah, man. But it's. I personally think that you should be able to do what you want to do outside the job, and the job shouldn't have any control over you unless anything that you're doing is directly affecting your job.
Exactly. So if you're coming home from stripping at 4:00 in the morning and you're too tired to teach your class, then that can be a problem.
Correct.
But if this teacher's there on time and she's putting in her work, so what she does?
Because that doesn't.
Everybody engages in fornication. All these people decide to do is let strangers into what they're doing. That's all it is. It's it. So I just, bro, I have a problem with control. I don't like being controlled. I don't like people telling me what I can and can't do. So this topic is never gonna rub me the right way. It's not, And like I said, unless you're gonna pay me around the clock, don't tell me what I can do or what I can't do when I'm off the clock.
Would you quit your job?
Hell fucking yeah. Hell yeah. No, you're not. But listen, there's too many jobs out here to let any one job tell you how you're gonna live, how to live your life.
But even going back to what you said earlier, Jelani, that you agreed that they should have expelled the kids because you're afraid of bullying. But who's to say they're not going to get bullied to the new school that they go to?
I mean, they might not because kids might not know them. But
I'm sure kids will know them because this hit the internet.
Kids' names and faces
social media
involved though.
But that's my parent. You think they're not going to know when they come to parent-teacher conference?
Pop's going to have to handle that. Pop's going to have to come sign them up and pick
when they
them
come
up
to parent-teacher conference.
And then they making $80,000 a month off that.
Facts.
Bro, a month? You want to do the math? Come on, bro.
They wouldn't have had to kick my kids out. I'd have took them out. I'm not giving them $80,000 a month.
I'm
homeschool.
I'm not with that control stuff, man. I'm a rebel when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
What happens to one should happen to another. And in regards to that, we talking about the attacks on the Asian Americans. Now, there's been a lot of attacks on the Asian Americans ever since mid-March of last year in 2020 when they received over 2,800 attacks because President Donald Trump at the time, referred it to as the China virus. So when he said that this is the China virus, he actually kind of put a target on the Asians, and they've been attacked ever since. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Sad.
Do you think it's fair?
Fair? No, but fair doesn't matter.
Because it's the same thing that happened with 9/11 in regards to,
Muslims.
we don't want to see a Muslim because
It's
Muslim
the same thing that happens to black people on the news every day, and Asian people are not our allies. So, I don't think it's fair what they're going through, but to act like the Asian community has been supporting us or been an ally of us is, that's not true either. So it's fucked up. But hey, this is America. This is what happens. We gotta take it, right?
Yeah, I mean that's how I see it. It's pretty fucked up that they're getting attacked by random people in the street because of their nationality.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that has me feeling uncomfortable is they all on the news pressing for hate crimes, bruh. Why is it that when a Jew gets beat up, hate crime? A black person, a Chinese person gets beat up, hate crime. All these people from different nationalities get beat up, and it's a hate crime. But black motherfuckers is getting beat up. We getting all types of shit, and that shit is still not a hate crime.
When we get beat up, they look for our past criminal history
to validate that shit. How that don't make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm not here by any means because people like to make their own interpretation for things when you speak. I'm not saying that it's okay that Asian Americans are getting hit or getting beat up, getting stabbed, whatever the case is. Not okay. Nobody should be getting beat up because of their nationality, the color of their skin, their race, any of that. Nobody should. But the same rules don't apply to black folks, bro.
Understood.
The same rules don't apply to Hispanics. They out here, they targets too. Mm-hmm. Black people targets too. We get beat up, just another motherfucking Hispanic. Nope.
But they say it's a hate, and you guys can attest to this. They say it's a hate crime because it's usually by another race.
Black person. That's why it's a hate crime.
So if a white man was doing it,
ain't been fucking us up for the longest. That shit ain't been.
No, what I'm saying is, if it's a white man that's going up and punching the Asians, that's not going to be considered a hate crime.
They only gonna say it's a hate crime if he says you Asian something or you.
Yeah, that's gonna be assault.
Exactly.
It's gonna be assault unless he's literally coming out calling them Asians, go back to China, all that ignorant shit. Mm-hmm. But the minute a black person go run up on somebody and hits them, hate crime, lock them up. Hate crime, lock them up. Come on, somebody. The dude got chased down in Georgia and got shot, and niggas had to have whole protests to get these people locked up, bro.
Everybody was saying he's a thief.
Mm-hmm.
He's a thief. He deserved it. He's a thief. Fuck out of here.
It's just like it's always some justification when it comes to us. You understand what I'm saying? We up here getting beat up by cops. We getting beat up by everybody, bro. We getting ran out of neighborhoods for years, bro. You know what I'm saying? And shit still ain't deemed a hate crime, bro. None of that. But anytime any other race or anything is touched, it's a hate crime. Hate crime. Why? Because black people doing it. Mm-hmm. That's it, bro. You ain't see no white. You don't see no white person doing that shit on the news. No white person's doing that. It's a black motherfucker hitting them.
When you say people getting ran out of the neighborhood, you think gentrification is against the minorities, against the blacks?
I'm just talking about back in the day.
Okay.
When little black girls and little black boys couldn't play in certain neighborhoods, they was getting ran out of neighborhoods and getting beat up by white folks.
Staten Island, they was killing black people. Fucking Giuliani talking, you can't jump to the conclusion that it's based on race.
Right.
The fuck out of here.
There's the same rules on
Because Staten Island, what's that, full of
Staten
Italians?
Island, one of the most racist places in this country. And it's tiny as fuck. Like, nah, man. Like, listen, I'm not saying it's all right. Like Conrad said, it's not okay. But where was the Asian American community when we was looking for allies? They was there persecuting us too. We walk into their establishment, they treating us like shit.
Like straight criminals.
Well, you can't
Don't
say-
bring no black person home. That's
Yes.
what we. That's so. Look,
Yes.
don't look to me for.
I've
Take
have
a
seen
dollar
and
bill
heard
out of
that.
black hand though.
Exactly.
I have seen and I have heard that. But even just to counter that, when we had the Black Lives Matter, it wasn't just black people that was out there.
No, of course. It was supposed to be white people out there because at this point, this shit is on you. Like, we've been doing this. And anytime we make any progress, y'all just cut us down. So at this point, stand your ass on the front line and get pepper sprayed in the fucking face and beat up. It's your turn for us.
Listen, and I'm not even gonna listen. When those protests was going on, there were people of all different nationalities, races that was out there with their fists in the air for black folks. But let's not get it twisted. There was a lot of people out there that didn't have no feelings in regards to what happened. They had interest. They didn't have feelings. They had interest. Oh, we gonna run up in Gucci. Oh, we gonna run up in Louis.
Yeah.
Oh, we gonna run up in all these stores, and we gonna take advantage of this situation for our personal gain.
There's people there just to beat up cops and cause
They
anarchy.
They had interests. Their feelings weren't involved in it. But black folks were down there. That was their feelings. You saw it. Their feelings were coming out of them. Them other motherfuckers was down there for interest, their own personal interests. What can I get out of this? We looting, we doing all this other stuff. We gonna commit crimes. Them white folks throwing Molotovs inside cop cars. You know, the white girl that lived in Jersey, they caught her. She threw a Molotov inside of a cop car, burnt the whole shit down.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
They doing time. She was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all that got thrown under the black people umbrella, the Black Lives Matters umbrella. Look at how these niggas is doing. Look at these niggas. They don't get what they want. They don't get what they want. They burning shit down, burning cop cars, doing this. Nah, that wasn't us. I mean, some of us, but it was also some of them too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that energy wasn't the same when it came down to January 6th. Like, yo, bro, the rules don't apply when it come to the same rules don't apply when it come to everybody else. Mm-hmm. Motherfuckers went through a whole Capitol building, and that same energy's not applied. They're not thugs.
And killed the cop.
With a fucking fire extinguisher.
And they still trying to investigate.
Like, you ain't got cameras in there to see who ran up behind dude and popped them in the head with a fire extinguisher. Come on, bro. Yo, bro, the same rules don't apply when it come to us. It doesn't. It's annoying. It's bothersome. It's just like, yo, bro, we're not protected out here. And then they always want to sit back and say, oh, y'all victims. Nigga, we are. That's why we on edge, because we're not protected. We got to protect ourselves because we're not protected by y'all.
I've always said that our bark is loud, but our bite is even louder, because when it comes to certain situations, we have so much to fight for.
Yeah.
Because we've been fighting for so long, we have so much to fight for.
Yo, we still fighting to be on the same playing field, bro. To be on an equal playing field. Bro, that's all we want. That's all we want. Listen to any black folk, bro. I just want to be treated the same way. That's what they all say.
Yep. Be happy we're not looking for revenge.
Yeah, that's what they say. We all want to be treated equally, as far as the pay goes, as far as perception goes.
The opportunities.
Opportunities, yes.
All of that.
Yes. The opportunities, me personally, where I live upstate, and they have swimming pools in the school. They don't have swimming pools in a public school.
Not in the city, man.
They don't. And then they say black people don't know how to swim, because we're not in the pool to learn. There's no access.
Yeah. All resources aren't around.
The PAL centers used to exist. All that type of shit that used to exist don't exist as much.
It's all closed down. There's none of these.
I was a member.
Yeah, there's none of these programs. No real sports out here for these kids. These kids are legitimately left.
They rather let buildings sit empty.
Right.
then utilize them
Yeah,
shits.
exactly.
Because they
Where
don't
the rent
wanna,
is sky high.
because they don't want to put money towards that.
Exactly.
They don't want to put money towards that. It's terrible.
Now, when you talking about Asians and races and ethnicities, sometimes it's a direct target, meaning a hate crime, and then sometimes it's just being competitive. Now, NBA basketball player, who's now in the G League, Jeremy Lin, was actually on the basketball court. He was playing, and somebody called him the coronavirus on the basketball court.
Get over it.
What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Get over it. He's
Do you
basketball. He's trying to get in your head. Get over it.
It's just trash talk.
Yeah.
You
get
think
over
that? But you don't think that's more than trash talking?
No,
What if a
trying to-
white person called you a nigga?
He's trying to get in my head. He's trying to get me upset.
But you wouldn't see that as racist, though?
I mean, yeah, that, because you calling me a nigger.
Yeah.
Me calling you coronavirus ain't racist.
Why not?
If I called you a chink, then that'd be racist.
But why is that not racist?
Because
though?
it's not racist.
But it's coming from a racist intent, a racist mindset. Because
So-
Donald Trump said that it came
So
from China.
ignorant people say AIDS came from Africa. So somebody say, hey, AIDS, get over here. Is that racist?
No,
All right then. So why is
No.
coronavirus racist?
no, because that's different though.
It's the same damn thing, bro.
You think so?
I do.
But you talking about the biggest public figure at the time, Donald Trump, saying that it specifically came from a place,
It
a
did.
region.
It did come from there. Well,
So
it started from there
All right. What would be your intent for saying that?
to get in his head.
Okay.
Listen,
Why?
listen.
But
listen,
to get into
there's-
somebody's head, you have to say something that's what? Negative and not
Right,
positive.
bro. But this is how. Listen. All right. I like to tug at people's emotions. I'm very good at it. You understand what I'm saying?
Personally.
I tug at people's emotions. My loved ones. I don't do it to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're on a court and you're trash talking somebody, what are you doing? You're tugging at their emotions. Yeah, you trash. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're working them up so that you can get them out of their rhythm. Make
Mm-hmm.
them do some shit that they wouldn't do. So if you're on a basketball court and somebody's calling you coronavirus, he's clearly trying to get in your head. It's basketball. Bust his ass. Take it out on the basketball court. So I don't have a problem with that.
So what about when Kevin
I knew
Garnett?
that's what he was going.
What Kevin Garnett did.
What about when Kevin Garnett and Melo was going back and forth? He said your wife tastes like Lucky Honey Nut Cheerios.
That's
He's
nothing.
trying to get in his head. And they got Melo tight, right?
Yeah,
He's waiting
he
outside
did.
the
They
locker
actually
room.
about to square it off.
Tug
Square
it
it off.
Charlie, remember Charlie Villanueva? You called me cancer patient. Nobody cares,
Yeah.
bro. Nobody
I'm
cares.
going to tug at your emotions, and I'm going to get this emotion.
That's not racist, but
It's
that's below the
His
belt.
teammates probably laughed at that shit. Like,
No, but it's
That's what you
it's
do.
certain things you don't say
No,
though.
no,
in trash
no,
talk.
no.
So there's no limit,
No, there is a limit. There is a limit. Absolutely.
and that's
but
not part of it.
No. Because
Really?
he ain't talk about his son in a derogatory way. Like I know what I'm saying about your wife isn't appropriate. I know you're gonna get upset.
Yeah, there's a
I-
limit
Yeah,
there.
no, it's not. Because what did it do? It pulled Melo out of his. It took him out the game. Mentally, he wasn't there.
he wanted to fight.
Kevin Garnett was there the whole game. He was good.
Yep. And
Not Melo.
Melo came to fight.
So
and
who-
KG did what?
So exactly. So who won?
Put his hands up.
So who won?
But
Bro,
you just said so. What's the limit though? Because
Bro,
you said there's a
bro.
limit. What's the limit?
When you start getting racial.
Yeah, when you use racial epithets,
Like
that's
the word
limit.
nigger, bro. There's history behind that word. You understand what I'm saying? If you know, if you're playing against somebody who's a Jewish and you call them, you know, a derogatory name, it's the same thing. That's unacceptable. You can go about, bro. I play football. I'm a football guy. I play basketball too. I play football, cornerback, bro. I talk shit. That's how I play. That keeps me going. That's how I play. I'm gonna tug at your emotions on a football field. I'm gonna pop shit.
So you would say to a Hispanic, "Yo, you swim faster than you run." you would say something. You would say something like
Whatever will get in his head. Yeah,
Gary Payton said there ain't no limit, so
yeah.
it's just talk.
He did say that though. I
It's
did watch
trash
the
talk, bro. But I
documentary.
mean, I wouldn't go. You know, I wouldn't mention nobody's kid or their race. You know what I'm saying? But you know, if I could pull you out the game, especially if you're a good player, and I know that I'm a good trash talk, and my words is gonna get you out the game, which will benefit myself and my team, then why not? Why not? That's you have to control your emotional impulses, not me.
You don't see nothing wrong with that? Fair game?
Not that specific comment. I ain't seen nothing wrong with that.
With coronavirus, right?
Yeah, I think Jeremy Lin, he just go
He
away.
just
go away.
because he tried to come back into the league.
He can't.
He didn't meet the deadline for quarantine or something like that. So he's now in the G League, and being in G League, he played against somebody. He said he didn't want to say the name. Let me ask you a question.
So why bring it up then?
No, but that's what I'm about to say.
Funk Master Flex.
If you were targeted by somebody, would you say that name? Would he be a snitch if he said the person's name?
No, he wouldn't be a snitch.
He wouldn't be a snitch?
Shouldn't have said anything to begin
Why?
with.
Because it's direct towards him?
No, I just don't deem that as snitching.
Really?
Yeah, how's that? Why would that be?
If I'm gonna say, because you already know that there's gonna be consequences to the person that said it because it's media hype now.
So he shouldn't have said it.
No, I'm talking about the person who said it, who called him China virus.
Right, but what I'm trying to say, if you're the person that's gonna say it, then you need to understand what the backlash of that can be.
But the person is thinking just like what you guys said, just casual trash talk until he's offended by it.
Listen,
you get what I'm saying?
I don't know what I think it was like a show or two ago. This whole world we live in is moist. Everybody's moist. They're soft. That's the only word for it, bro.
I get what you're saying, but what happens to one person doesn't necessarily happen to another.
Get over it.
Hear me out. Both of you guys big, with all due respect. If I punch Jelani, he may not feel it. Jelani's bigger than you. If I punch you, you may feel it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's all about how a person perceives it. So he could say, yeah, I'm trash talking you, but then he'd be like, damn, dog, that was offensive. Even going back to the Governor Cuomo situation where he says, I'm just being me. I didn't think God said anything where the woman's like, listen, this is sexual harassment. You should have never said this. You should have never touched it. Should have never touched me.
And I get that, but that's different. That's different than me.
What's different?
A workplace to being on a court playing a game.
That's your job too.
Yeah, that's your job. But trash talking is a part of your job.
No.
Bro, yeah.
They get it.
When you trash talk now.
You can't trash talk.
You hear them talking.
When you
can't trash talk
when
now.
you play sports, trash talking is a part of the game, bro.
Yes.
Yo, bro, my mouth runs.
Same here.
My mouth runs. My mouth runs. His corner's on lock. He ain't throwing the ball over here. He ain't throwing the ball over here. Do something.
You can hear it even more now. There ain't no fans. You can hear them talk. You can hear every word.
They say you can't trash talk no more, though.
You can trash talk.
That's why guys are getting teed up.
No, if the refs tell you stop, you stop. But you can still talk. Like you can hear. You can literally hear them now. You can hear everything they saying.
Jeremy Lin is being moist. Facts. Moist boy. Get over it. Yes.
He's trying to stay relevant, man.
Bro, this is if a dude is gonna get on the court and call you a name that's gonna offend you, bust his ass. That's how I feel.
That's it.
That's how all that extra weirdo crybaby shit everybody be on. You got I'm gonna step off this topic. You got Meek Mill crying like a little girl, want to go and shut people's money out because you don't like what they did. That's weirdo shit. In a rap game, if you don't like somebody, you get in front of a mic, you get behind a mic, and you diss them. You don't go behind people's back and try to cut off people's pockets so they can't feed their family.
Meek, come
that
on,
weirdo shit,
Twitter
man.
fingers.
That's
that
weirdo
weak.
Shit, bro.
That was weak.
What's the case in that?
I don't even like 6ix9ine, and that was weak.
6ix9ine, when 6ix9ine snitched, he came out. This nigga Meek was going behind stop talking, stop mentioning him, trying to mess up his money, bro.
Yes.
He got his video taken down.
But did you see Zaza?
No, I didn't watch that shit.
But did you see the video?
No. It got taken down.
No. Did it get really?
No, it's back up. It's back up.
Oh, it's back up.
Yeah. Oh, but I told you to watch it because in the clip, it has a clip. I mean, in the video, it has a clip of when he and Meek got into it in the parking lot.
That's why Meek had his lawyer file an injunction.
But even before that, when the news came out that he was snitching, that's when Meek first got on his shit because he was working with Nicki and the whole Nicki shit.
Yo, Meek is the hip hop police, bro.
No, for real.
You said Nicki?
No, Meek.
Oh.
But like, bro, if somebody's gonna talk trash to me and get me upset on the court, I'm not gonna be a crybaby and go run and tell somebody. I'm gonna bust your ass on this court. That's it.
And if you can't do it, you just take that trash.
Right.
But do you think that under any other circumstance,
and
he would have kept his mouth shut? But there's a lot of attacks on Asians.
That's the only reason he spoke up. But listen, when Jeremy Lin when he was good in the NBA for 30 days, I'm pretty sure he heard worse. He played on the Knicks, and Kevin Garnett was on the Celtics at that time.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he heard every name you could possibly hear in that 30 days. He was good.
You don't think these white basketball players ain't being called white boy?
Exactly.
All on the court. What's up? What you
saw
got,
it
white
last
boy?
year.
Let's go, white boy.
Yeah.
We
Let's
saw
go,
it
white
last
boy.
year in the playoffs, I
judge
think
people.
it was. And
What's that?
Somebody got in trouble for calling somebody a punk. Montrezl Harrell. He called somebody last year in the bubble a punk ass white boy.
Was it Luka?
Yeah, it was Luka.
Yeah, it was Luka. Yeah.
You just get on the court and you bust his ass. That's it. Like that. That's what this is, man. You don't like somebody, you gonna get behind a mic, get in front of a mic, and diss them. That's what hip hop is about. Not running to all these executives trying to shut somebody out so that you can shut their bag so that they can't feed their family. Or he called me coronavirus. I'm gonna go tell. Like, no, we gonna bust his ass on the court.
Meek Mill said that Drake didn't write his own rhymes, and what Drake do? Bust his ass.
Exactly.
Back to back.
Right.
It's untapped out.
That's what you do. That's music, bro. Don't be a little hoe and go crying.
True.
Yo, bro, soft. Everybody, bro. I can't stand it. I can't stand how sensitive this world is now, yo. It bothers me.
But speaking of how sensitive the world is, news came out today that they're changing a lot of things in regards to Mr. Potato Head, Dr. Seuss books, things of that nature. We're all in our 30s, so those are traditions to us. Our children will never know what it's like, to see a Mr. Potato Head or to read a Dr. Seuss book. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Because when it comes to the Mr. Potato Head, they actually just took the Mr. out and it's Potato Head. But why would you do that? Because it is a male.
The Mr. Potato Head thing has gone too far.
It's a toy.
That's a slippery slope.
And
It's
there
a
is
toy.
also a Mrs. Potato Head. So if you're not included, guess what? There's one for you too. Or you can just dress that motherfucker up the way you want to.
Yeah, transgender Potato Head.
It's a slippery slope, and I'm telling you, they're going down a rabbit hole with this shit, man. And you should have left the Dr. Seuss books.
The Dr. Seuss, I ain't got no problem with that. I got no problem with
You
that.
think that was racial?
I didn't read those 6 books that they canceled. I've never read them. I've never even heard of them. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some racial shit in there. Dr. Seuss from Massachusetts, he probably is a fucking racist. I don't know. But I don't have a problem with.
Y'all ain't never been to Boston?
I've
been there, bro.
I don't have a problem.
Trust me.
I don't have a problem with certain aspects of cancel culture. The overly sensitive shit I don't like. If we gonna go back and call motherfuckers out for things they've said in the past, I ain't got no problem with that. We gonna hold people accountable. But there's too much. Like Mr. Potato has gone too far. That's too far.
What I don't understand is all these things were created for a specific reason at that time. Granted, things change over time, but never forget why you started something. So why are you changing it? Why are you changing it? To appease people?
To appease a particular group. They're not appeasing everybody. They're appeasing a particular group. And that's good.
What do you think?
I don't even think they're trying to. I think it's for publicity. I think it's to look like we're woke and we're, we want to right the wrongs. I think that's what it is, to boost sales. But
if you want to right the wrongs, take down all those statues. How about you do that? Listen, there's gonna be books with a whole bunch of racial shit in it. If you're gonna take down one, you gotta take down all, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
you can't go down that rabbit hole.
But if you ask me, my belief is why they went so low, and when I mean low, I mean early childhood, is because that's affect the children, and the children would then think that this is appropriate when the world wants them to see that it's not appropriate.
Listen,
as far as the Dr. Seuss books and Mr. Potato Head, those are things that children will play with. We as adults, we're shaped how we are already.
These kids are learning from their parents. They're learning from their household. They're learning from their communities. They're not learning this racial shit from books. They're sitting at home and they're seeing how the people within their household.
You think so?
Absolutely.
So what's the difference when a person says that they're a gangster because they listen to rap music? Or they're a criminal because they listen to rap music?
Well, you're not a criminal until you do criminal activities.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? Like, they're saying that music influences you to do negative things.
Yes.
So you don't think that's the same thing for a book?
Not everybody has the attention span to read a book, let alone pull out racial shit from it and actually is music is a little different than because you do have songs that'll make you feel a little tough. You got songs that'll make you cry. You got songs that'll make you feel good. That's the point of music. That's what it's to invoke that emotion inside of you. It's the whole purpose of it. If it's not, then it's not your kind of music.
And the same thing goes for a book. It's to educate you on a particular subject.
Not all books educate you.
No, but I'm not talking about education as far as school, but you learn something from it. You learn something from it.
Let me ask you a question.
Listening.
Is a kid more likely to listen to music or read a book?
Listen to music.
Is a kid more likely to be hanging out in the street with the people on his block or reading books?
Hanging out.
That's where they're learning this shit from. They got siblings. They got parents that have these old school ideologies that feel a certain kind of way about certain ethnic groups because they were born and raised in the 50s and the 60s. You understand what I'm saying?
But that's a culture thing.
Right.
That's a No, going back to the book situation, that's a culture thing. Our culture doesn't sit back and read books, but the Asians do, the whites do. You know what I'm saying? So they sit back and they'll pick.
Don't say that about our culture. I'm gonna stop you right now.
No.
Don't say that.
Listen, I myself read and I read to my sons. But nothing is ever going to be 100%. But we're talking about the majority. Majority of people don't read.
Don't say that.
I work
I'm not gonna say that.
I work in a position where people write letters, and a lot of misspelled words, bad grammar, is bad.
You find that in white people too.
Yeah, you do. But that's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion that we don't read as we should. What do you think, Colin?
I don't think we read as we should.
As often as we should.
I think that comes down to the individual person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 32. I might have really started reading when I was 26.
Yeah.
And that's when I opened my mind up. I got so much smarter through books. Like I'm one person that can sit here and tell you that I've gained as much wisdom and knowledge through books.
Mm-hmm.
I can refer people to all kinds of different books, but it took me getting to a certain point in my life. I never picked up a book on my own.
Same
ever.
Here. Same
so, here. My maturation process and me just coming into me as an adult, I leaned on books to help me grow. But everybody's different. Some people can't read books. Some people will have something being played to them through their earphones. Some people just can't do the reading. They don't have the attention span. Like, there's so many people I know, and this would happen to me too. They'll be reading a book, and they'll get through 5-6 pages and be like, yo, what the fuck I read? I gotta go back and I gotta read the shit again because I just went through 5 pages and I don't know what the fuck I read because I don't remember it. I'm reading this book, but my mind's somewhere else. So, I mean, it really, that comes down to the individual person. I don't think that's a race thing. I don't think that's a culture thing. I think that's an individual thing.
No, I don't think it's a race thing. I just think that
do black people read? Let's be honest. Do black people got libraries in their house? Bookshelves with books? I did, but my parents were a little. Listen, I came from a structured household. My pops is West Indian. My mom's is American, but I had an extremely structured household. We had to sit down, read books. We had to sit down and eat at the table. We couldn't eat upstairs in our room. Very structured. So I had that, but I never picked up a book. And I had books in my house. It didn't happen for me till I was 26. But I knew a lot of people who didn't have a book if it wasn't a school book in their house. So it's just, I don't know. My mom forced us to go to the library and join book clubs when I was a little kid. I would have never did that shit on my own. I didn't want to do it when she took us there.
It's funny because that's how I actually felt about church. We used to go to church,
bro.
We used to go to church. No, I believe in God. I'm very spiritual.
I believe in
God. I'm very spiritual.
I don't do church. I don't do church. I'm very vocal with that.
That's an episode.
We were vocal with that.
We were. What, that you don't do church?
I don't do church. I don't do religion.
I don't
do church.
We definitely need to do an episode on that.
I know right from wrong.
Exactly.
And
I'm very
all
spiritual.
That matters.
No, because we
in a higher being.
We used to go to church. And then once we were old enough and they said, "Oh, you guys can go to church on your own," I'm like, okay. We went maybe like 3-4 more times, and after that, we just stopped going.
Me and my brothers hated going to church. My mom would force us to go to church on Sundays, bro, and we would be sitting just fucking around with each other the whole time in church, getting in trouble the whole time. And all my mom would be doing, you just see her hand go sliding across our laps and pinching our thighs and just twisting it. She'd be looking at us like, "Stop playing around, stop playing." And we'd be like this, "Mom, stop, while the pastor and all that's preaching.
You know what's so crazy? Like you said, like you read a book and you don't comprehend what's going on. That's how I always felt in church. The preacher's up there and he's saying a lot of things, reading the Bible verses, the scriptures, and I'm like, dogs, I don't understand.
I found the mockery out
You know
of it.
what? But you know who I actually like? Joel Osteen.
Oh God!
I actually like Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen's a
crooks.
piece of shit.
No, but hear me out.
He wouldn't even let people in his fucking church when they needed it.
You 100% right. The reason why I like him is because he relates the Bible to actual life. You get what I'm saying? So for you to be able to understand,
hold my tongue.
I get. I think I know what she's
coming back here for an episode.
I think I know what she's about to say. I think I know what she's about to say.
Episode on this. We're gonna talk about religion, and I'm sorry, and the fans, if anybody gets offended, I know.
Don't get offended because we're allowed to have opinions.
Right. Just because you go to church every Sunday and I don't make me a heathen. All right, I believe in a God. Just might not be your God.
I will say I love more than anything seeing black people's reaction when I tell them that I don't believe in God. I love it. Love it.
I believe in a
So
God.
Offended.
What they offended?
So offended. Oh my God. Can I think for myself?
No, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. You know that.
I love it.
You know that. Not allowed to think for yourself.
We as black people, we love us some God. That church, you'll be there for several hours.
You want to know? We want to know. You want to know why black people love them some God? Because black people are some hopeful mother bleeps.
Yeah,
that's why we live off hope.
Shit,
something happens, you need to go home and pray to the Lord.
That shit is in
and it's
our
just
genetics.
like, listen, yo, I'm serious. Something happens, and it's like you need to pray.
Mm-hmm.
You need to pray, and it's like, listen. I've been praying. My prayers is going to God's spam section, his mailbox, because he ain't answering me.
Yeah.
Black one dude. My experience, or one thing I've noticed is black people. They're hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
There's some real hopeful.
I agree with that.
Man.
I agree with that.
And it just gets to a point in time where you gotta just look at reality for what it is, man, and adjust and stop. Man, prayer is not going to get you through everything. It's not. It's not, But I mean, I do believe in a God. I don't think that we're here for no reason. That it's too perfect. Any closer to the sun, we burn to death. Any further away, we freeze. If you believe in gravity, is perfect. Everything here is perfect for us to sustain life on this planet. Like there's fucking bugs in the forest that eat shit. And that's how they keep the forest clean. Everything has a job, except for mosquitoes. I don't know what the fuck they do. But most
they like some barbecue.
the way the earth is it's weird, but everything works together to keep the shit going. So I think there's somebody or something or something pulling the strings up top, playing puppeteer or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. The religion, I don't believe in it.
Listen, I hear you, and I struggle with that myself. Like, there's certain things that just don't make no sense. There's certain things that I don't want to hear your scientific explanation for, because in reality, science was created by man. So you can't tell me science has all the answers. So there's a lot, but I look at humanity, and it's just like, yo, y'all motherfuckers are some trifling. I don't see God.
Right.
It's just hard.
And for me, and like I said earlier in this episode, I don't like being controlled. And what does religion do?
Well, that's the one thing I could say, 100%. But that's one thing I could say that I've never been a fan of it, because if you know somebody who's a Christian, they live and die by the Bible and what it says and what you can and cannot do. And it's funny because they'll go and they'll break all the laws, but then let you do something, and then they'll throw that verse at you. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
don't pick and choose
big
when you
time
use
hypocrites.
it. Don't pick and choose when you want to use it. Use it all the time.
yep. The same rules gotta apply. It can't just apply when it's convenient
Correct.
for you. And you get a lot of that. Not to knock anybody. Like for Jehovah Witnesses, like they're not allowed to have blood transfusion. So you're telling me that if I need a blood you're telling me that if I need a blood transfusion to survive, that I have to choose death because my religion says I can't do that?
Wow,
No.
that's crazy.
No.
We had a teacher who was Jew. What I mean, Jehovah Witness. A Jehovah Witness. You remember, right?
Who?
Miss Chisholm.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Face, really.
Yeah, she was the black computer teacher, the elderly black computer teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, she was Jehovah Witness. I'm about to say Jew again.
I got a problem with control, man.
She used Jehovah Witnesses.
I have a big problem with that shit.
Look at Bob Marley died because he wouldn't have his toe amputated because his religion say you got to have your body whole.
See?
Wow.
And fuck that. Take that shit off so I don't
That
die.
shit off, right?
crazy.
Right. I don't. But I mean that's a whole episode, literally.
Facts.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this show up.
Definitely. Everybody, please let's go to the Instagram and follow us inside_M.E.N. Follow us. Go to the YouTube InsideMen podcast. We up there. Subscribe. You have the video. You can actually see us inside here on YouTube doing what we doing. It's not just the audio on Apple or Spotify or whatever platform you're looking at it at. But definitely, go follow us on Instagram. Go to the YouTube. Subscribe. Leave some comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think. And, let's start interacting with each other. We have some plans. We trying to do some big things, but we need your help. So, get on, start subscribing, and we're gonna have a lot of giveaways coming up in a near future.
I got nothing to say.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this show up. Before we wrap it up, we're gonna leave y'all with one last message. A victim is a person harmed, injured, or killed as a result of a crime, accident, or other event or other action. Sometimes it's on purpose. Other times it may be by an accident. Nevertheless, being a victim of a crime is an occurrence that can cause trauma. Perception is one word that I never really took a liking to because it's what one person thinks about an action versus what's intended. My intention may be to do a nice gesture, but you perceive it totally different.
Correct.
We have to understand that when somebody perceives something that's not to our liking, we have to respect it. We have to respect what they say. We have to respect how they feel. And we have to respect them, us, ourselves.
That's right.
Our dignity and everything that's going on.
And again, before we go, fellas, freak boys, leave these women alone. Stop. It's not worth it. Whatever you thinking with your private parts, don't let it leave your mouth. Don't leave these women alone because it's not worth the risk. Your careers that you done spent 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in, and then 10 years inside your career to get to the place you at, you lose it like that off of a comment, off of a touch. You hug an employee and you're rubbing your hand on the back of her back. She has a problem with that. Now you don't have a job. Cut the weirdo shit, man. If you like, we got daughters out here. You wouldn't like it if any man was doing that to your daughter. So let's just stop, man. We at work to do a job. We're not at work to find love. There's places for that, There's apps for that. There's Tinder. There's a bunch of apps for that, man. Like, keep that weirdo shit outside the... Stop that. Just stop. Just stop. That's it.
All right. Sweet life. We out.